Welcome to Marshfield Now. I'm your host, David Ballerstein, Communications Specialist with the City of Marshfield. Today we are here at Farm Tech Days, and we got a local organization here from Marshfield that's helping out with emergency communications here. And we're going to talk to them and see what their club is all about and how they are helping people at this event. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hi, sir.
Hi, officer.
Hi, I'm Officer Maxon with the Marshfield Police Department. So the reason I stopped you today is you're going 35 miles an hour in a posted 25-mile-an-hour zone.
I didn't know I was going that fast. I'm sorry, I'm late to work.
Oh, okay. Do you have your driver's license on you?
I do. Can I find it first?
Absolutely, sir. Drivers that speed put themselves and others in risk of being involved in an accident. Slow down and take your time. Leave plenty of space in front of you. Always make a full stop at all stop signs and lights. And stop for all pedestrians and be aware of your surroundings. Obey the signs or pay the fines.
Welcome back to Marshfield Now. Today I got John here with us here. He's from the Marshfield area and part of MARS. Can you give us a little bit about what MARS is and what your club and organization does for the citizens or the community of Marshfield?
Sure. MARS actually stands for the Marshfield Area Amateur Radio Society, and it's an amateur radio group. Some of the different things that we get into is storm spotting or advanced storm watch. We set a perimeter up around the city and radio back to a net control who gets in touch with the weather centers so that the public can know what's going on actually on the ground instead of just what the radar indicates. Some of the other things we go through and do is fun runs or bicycle rallies and things like that. We can set up waypoints and checkpoints and keep communications going along the routes and things like that. So those are some of the things we go through and do. Later this month we've got a point in time count where we'll be out patrolling around the city helping St. Vincent de Paul, looking for homeless people. Different things like that is the focus of the club.
Okay. So working with the community, what other agencies or operations do you help contribute to help in accessible operations with communications? I guess some people probably don't know to the extent of what a ham radio group would do for certain organizations within a county, a city, or through the state.
Sure. The amateur radio clubs or amateur radio operators a lot of times will go through and help out the city. Clubs especially, they have working relationships with local law enforcement, the city emergency operations centers and things like that. And the digital world that we have going on, there's always the fear of the digital system going down. Amateur radio still has the capability of communicating messages via airwaves, kind of the old school way of doing things. So we have working relationships with emergency governments and things like that to go through and augment communication systems in the event that something were to go down. A lot of times clubs will go through and partake in their city emergency operation drills, mass casualty events. We do a lot of training for those types of things so that the city knows what the capabilities are in case they have a glitch in their system.
Right. And today we're here out at Farm Tech Days. How is your involvement here involved with communications?
Well, our purpose here today is for weather and storm spotting. So if the radar would go through and indicate that something's moving into the area, we have ham operators that are off on call, and we have a designated area with about a 50-mile perimeter of this particular location that they'll be on the ground watching the skies, looking for what's happening and reporting back to our location here. And then from there we can notify the sheriff's department and things like that so they can clear the grounds and get people to safety. So that's our function here at the Farm Tech Days.
Okay, and I suppose a lot out there too don't know that you sometimes also report to the National Weather Service because they may say, hey, we think they're 60-mile-an-hour winds. Is that what's going on? Is that how that works?
Yeah, a lot of times with the lacrosse weather service or the Green Bay weather service, you know, when the notice goes out, it's radar indicated. That doesn't necessarily mean they know that what's happening on the ground. So us as storm spotters, you know, we can go radio back in or via telephone, go through and call them and give them a live on the ground. This is what we see. We've got some instrumentation. We can take wind speed measurements and different things like that, so we can give them a more accurate account other than just what they see on a radar screen.
Right. And for those that maybe want to get on the air, I know I've gone through a few testing, you know, so I got two class licenses on top of me there. But if somebody would want to join the club, do you provide training, testing? Even for those that aren't ham radio operator yet, well, what does your club provide to the community if they want to get involved?
Sure. The Marshfield Club does go through and offer training and classes to become the technician level, which is the entry level line of the ham radio operations. And we do go through and have a testing team that can assist you getting the FCC license to become an operator. We do have a few members of the club that are not operators, but there's an important place for them also in the club, just helping us put on functions, get things organized and things like that. So even if you're not really ready to pull the trigger to get on the air, you can always come by the club and find out what there is for more information as far as what's all involved in the hobby.
Sure. Well, that sounds great there. Yeah, it took me a couple months to learn my first test, you know, to take the technicians there, and then the second one was even longer. It took me like 6 months to read through and train. So, but
sure.
It's surprising, you know, how as ham radio operators, how much you're involved in the community, and a lot don't see what goes on in the background. So I'd like to thank you for, you know, being out here and helping with communications and keeping people safe. You know, that's what we do, you know, in the ham radio world or in public broadcasting there to get the messages out and stuff like that. So I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me and being part of the new series of Marshfield Now program of all things happening in Marshfield. So John, I'd like to thank you.
All right, thank you very much for coming out and seeing us here today and giving us the opportunity to talk about the club and the hobby a little bit.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yep, take care.